can roam around together, but they need some kind of a core that can set up those kind of early kills. Maybe a Shadow Blade hero, maybe something with a Blink Dagger. They need mobility to be able to initiate and get those ganks off.
Yeah, the most picked hero in the entire Manila Major is Disruptor, and it comes out again.
Yep, no surprise. He's very good versus Earth Spirit. Even Lifestealer, you know, like we've been saying, silences can be very good versus Lifestealer because if he doesn't get that rage off, he actually is quite squishy at one point if you can burst him down during that duration.
Maybe he'll be able to get a Scythe of Ice again.
And that's quite a. I think it's an early Alchemist here. I was expecting them to actually pick up one of the supports, maybe even the offlaner.
Well, I think they did it because there's no Fodder hero yet, and that's definitely one of his staples. They already banned Death Prophet. That's now gone. Invoker is banned as well. So Fodder's running out of heroes. I feel like that's one of the players that is being a little limited in hero pool.
Do you feel that's maybe why they've had to secure it early, and then could, in theory, could cause them problems later in the draft as well?
Yeah, Liquid did have to secure their Death Prophet earlier. I think when they played Newbie, it got banned first round, and then they had to play something else. Didn't feel as good. Then second round, they picked DP.
They picked it first.
Exactly. They prioritized it that much. But here, they didn't really have that same option. They can't let them get Sardar Lifestealer. They can't let them get Ricky Lifestealer. They're forced to delay till second round, and now Fodder's going to have to play his second or third best hero instead.
Like maybe a DK?
Dragon Knight, yeah, that's the one that's kind of like standing out to me. Does decent versus Alchemist. It's tanky versus Lifestealer. It is a strength mid-core, which maybe isn't the most favorable versus a Lifestealer, but he does have an instant disable, which can be very useful, and it helps a lot versus the Earth Spirit. You're not really able to roam too successfully on such a tanky hero in the mid lane.
And you can go Shadow Blade as well. They go for Ursa instead. Okay. Very good against tanky cores.
This is something we saw out of LGD. You know, they picked the Slardar and the Ursa versus the Alchemist. Both heroes really tear through him quite effectively.
Yeah, the Ursa's going to shred that Lifestealer.
And also, it gives them, of course, the obvious, pretty much uncontestable Roshan if they do it properly. If they have any type of window open, the Ursa's going to just be able to go there and rip it to shreds with the Slaughter Amplify.
Hasn't been played an awful lot, but they have used it here in Manila, so...
It also has good resilience against fairly weak lockdown, and that's one of the problems with OG's lineup right now. Lich helps out a bit because he's going to give some attack and movement speed slow to the Ursa when he's chasing people, but against Lifestealer Earth Spirit, as long as he's not stunned, he can remove the Magnetize and offset that a bit.
Yeah, we saw this approach by MVP Phoenix. It didn't end up working out like exactly, but it was a first pick Lich when they did it. They picked the Lich and they gave the Slardar away, of course counteracting the kind of the minus armor, slows down any type of like push, which is also, I feel, a very big detriment to Liquid, because right now usually they pick very objective based heroes, and these four don't really hit buildings too well. With the Lich armor, it's going to be very hard to bring down those towers.
Yeah, what I want to see out of...
sorry Charlie, most picked or banned hero right now, Beastmaster, still
untouched.
Yeah? What I want to see out of these teams right now is maybe some team fight control. It's a lot of single target DPS on both teams, I guess, except for the Lich Disruptor. But you don't see those big team fight ultimates here.
Yeah, no Tidehunter, like you said, no Beastmaster. I feel like, and OG doesn't yet have their offlane heroes, so they've kind of got the pick of the litter here.
Yeah, OG has quite a lot of damage though. They have the Infest, they have like all the Earth Spirit spells with the Acid Spray on top, and Alchemist is more than likely to go for that Radiance build which we've been seeing on top of the Chain Frost. It is quite a lot of AoE damage on their side, but Liquid is a bit more single target heavy.
Could give them a lot of teamfight advantage. The first couple Roche fights, or it might just make it so Liquid can't easily take Roche.
Yeah, and we were talking, I like the Ursa pick a lot, obviously, because into Lifestealer, we've all talked about it, you know, Ursa's one of those heroes who can go toe-to-toe to Lifestealer. He's not a strength hero, he has Enrage, which makes him pretty much immune to damage, and he's able to burst the Lifestealer, like we were talking about. The silences are very good versus Lifestealer if you're able to burst him in that small duration, and Ursa's pretty much the perfect pick for that.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to the initiation, as is the case in most games. If they get a silence or a Slardar initiation on Lifestealer and they can burst him down with Ursa afterwards, the whole fight's kind of over, because OG doesn't really have the best ways to stop that once the initiation starts.
Yeah, so what heroes do we have left for Moon? We have the Void, which they do like.
There's a Tide as well.
The Tide, it's kind of been falling a little bit out, and then the Beastmaster, yes.
So the obvious Dragon Knight is the smart ban here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's the one that's appropriate, just because of, you know, that's like Kevin was saying. Fata has his pretty much like 5 or 6 staple heroes that he's been playing quite consistently, and they're focusing pretty heavily on him. You know, picking the Alchemist, banning the Dragon Knight, banning the Death Prophet. It also ties together Liquid's draft, like we were saying. They're lacking that one objective taking hero, which they usually have. So it is the Beastmaster that they will take.
Yeah, do you find that quite surprising, that one came through?
Not so much. Especially something that you mentioned earlier, Paul, is that these teams are going to have their own meta in this best of 5. There are certain heroes that they're going to prioritize much more heavily. I think Beastmaster is very good, but in the hands of OG or Liquid, certain heroes are just way more broken, like the Nakes or like highly contested heroes like a Slardar.
Yeah, the Beastmaster gives also, you know, the Hawk, of course, to scout out Liquid's Roshan, which is one of the things we were talking about that Liquid does have. They will be able to maybe contest it. Now we do. Okay, so the Timbersaw pick is pretty much exclusively for the Alchemist. We're talking about they will need to bring down the Lifestealer inside of those silences.
And it's 4 melee heroes against the Timbersaw.
Yeah,
always
Pretty
good.
They don't have that many lockdowns and silences either. It's basically just Earth Spirit and Outstun and Beastmaster. That's one stun though. Might not be enough.
Okay, thank you very much, all three of you. We'll get more thoughts, of course, from our expert panel at the end of Game 1. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the grand final. And your commentary team for the final are Gods and LD.
Panawako! Someone told me that means I'm the best. But no, seriously, you guys are absolutely amazing. Magandang hapon, Pilipinas! I think they're ready.
They are very ready. They've been waiting for this. It's been 6 days of action here in Manila, and it's the grand finals, LD.
OG vs Liquid, Game 1, let's go! And we're underway. Gods, as we walked through the draft, I think it was when the Lich came out that you said, this looks really good for OG.
Yeah, the opening 2 picks, you can tell by how fast Kuro was drafting. He had kind of a clear plan as far as what they're giving up, what they're going to get in return. But this Lich pick really gives OG a big laning stage advantage. Lifestealer in any lane, he can go up top with the Lich. He can potentially solo the bottom lane against the Slardar, is going to be able to get farm. And I think OG's laning stage is very scary. There's a lot of pressure on Kuro to get a lot done on his Riki.
Yeah, we've seen teams have a lot of success with the Riki. It's normally been paired with a Lifestealer more often than not, as a secondary Infest Bomb vehicle, but felt like maybe a bit of a block pick from Liquid. Obviously great to drop the deep wards down, so can also set up the glimpses. That's the other big thing the Riki does bring to the table. So between that, the amp damage, perhaps playmaking coming from Jerax will also be the difference maker.
A fight's brewing, LD. Both teams have a lot of heroes. They see each other as well.
Level 1 Lich. Let's see. They're going to go for it. OG are confident. The 4 comes in. Earth's on the high ground, getting slowed down a bit. Even a kinetic field being dropped here. A rumble at the North Rune. Who grabs it? Alchemist wants it. No-Tail does get it. Even if he goes down, not too shabby. A 1-for-1 as far as the bounty runes go. But No-Tail will give up the first blood, and they might get Fly as well. Running down the Lich. A secondary kinetic field dropped on point again. Jerax showing up. Well, sure, they get the bounty rune, Gods, but Liquid still get 1 for free at bottom, and they get a first blood and a second kill.
I mean, just from a pure, psychological advantage. Liquid getting 2 kills in a kind of big 4v5-esque fight. Mind Control gets the bounty rune at bottom. That's a huge win for Liquid to start things off here. They're going to be feeling good about things despite Alchemist getting a bounty rune. They get the insta-kill, and Kuro's already hunting for that courier, though it doesn't look like it's going to come out anytime soon to No-Tail.
Yeah, also got a ward down here, so you will be able to see if Moon, or if someone retreats to the jungles. They're actually running Moon in the safe lane, so a bit of a change-up. We've seen some aggressive tri lanes this tournament, but they move onto the top lane, rolling onto Mamba Man, and they get the first kill of the laning stage. Third kill, we're 1 minute in, but OG do strike back, and it's on the back of the crit Earth Spirit.
And it's quite important to find a kill like that because your Lich is already committed to Frost Blast, so you have that lack of control for your creep equilibrium as well as just the inability to deny farm from the lane until you get your Dark Ritual up, so very useful to get that early kill up top.
So they do opt to give Moon the safe lane here, running the offensive tri lane. Obviously having a Lich helps to enable this, where you can still get a lot of experience for all 3 heroes out of that lane. Thoughts on this change-up? It's normally not on the OG go-to. We saw it a lot more from Alliance, the aggressive tri lanes. moderate success.
I know Moon really likes it when he can find these 1v1 matchups. As far as like mechanically going, he matches up very well against a lot of the offlaners in this tournament, and he's itemized for a 1v1 matchup. He gets the early Orb of Venom, he has the Ring of Protection, the Stout Shield, didn't go for any Iron Talon shenanigans. Meanwhile, Mind Control has to kind of react to the fact that he's against a lane that he perhaps didn't initially expect, so it's also a tough lane at that.
Secondary Bounty Rune is grabbed here by Notel, so we saw this from QO earlier in the tournament. You can have a rough start to the game, but if you get those bounty runes as the Alk, you will catch up. So off to a pretty good start here mid, despite giving up that first blood. Already 10-1 with 2 bounty runes. Fada farming well. And it is a matchup where the Timbersaw can find solo kills. We also saw that from Sumail earlier in the tournament, but just 1 kill may not be enough.
Yeah, the one player in the tri lane up top for OG not farming well is Miracle on Lifestealer. Just 6 CS early on, did get the kill, but not exactly winning this offensive tri lane. The lane's been continually pulled back, and Farm is being lost by OG because of this pull camp from Jerex, and both teams committing a lot of resources up here with a full tri-lane versus tri-lane in full force.
Yeah, as for this bottom lane, we do see pretty good form of Mind Control, but Moon is the one dishing out the harassment
The micro
here.
from the Bora, he like baits Slatter in, then turns around, does a lot of damage. This has been great play from Moon.
Here, fishy! Woo. Oh, he'll make it out.
And that's mana expended just to keep himself alive. Moon is playing very well in this bottom lane.
For now, OG, maybe not farming the best of Miracle, but they are getting the Lich effect here. So pulling ahead a bit as far as the experience in that lane goes. Kuroki just stalking around Invis for now. Haven't seen him move around too much since dropping that ward. Seems like he's worried about OG punishing in the tri-lane if he leaves.
Yeah, his positioning up top is a kind of very defensive way of playing the early game as a Riki.
And look how good this ward is. He's crit moving towards mid. So they know no Earth Spirit home right now. Perhaps Liquid can look to punish that.
Yeah, and
they're going on top. It looks like Lifestealer dropping quite low here. Miracle caught out. There's the kinetic field though. With the rage, he's able to walk away, but Liquid taking advantage of that ward.
Yeah, and you're not even completely committed to get the kill there. You just want to zone out Miracle, slow down his farm. He doesn't have additional regen beyond the Tango, so he can't really stay in this lane all too easily. And you're also very wary that Crit can't really gank mid lane. Alchemist does not have kill potential. He's not going for a stun. So when you see him rotate towards mid with your ward, you're expecting him to show up bottom in about 30 seconds time. So I imagine Mind Control should be expecting this gank because there's nowhere really else on the map that Crit can be.
Buys the boots, does buy the Rain of Regen. They're going to move on top again. Again, the Rage for Miracle. So they've transitioned into a dual lane here. Not seeing many kill opportunities, and, well, speaking of kill opportunities, Fada nearly found one mid. Almost bursted Notel from full to nothing, and since we last checked it on Notel, he's only gotten 4 more CS gods, so as the Timbersaw levels up, the lane is getting harder, and also did not get that 3rd bounty rune. Liquid starting to put more emphasis on contesting them.
Fada even swoops in and takes some of his jungle camp here. This is, like, brutal play to be making. I love it from Fada. He leaves one shard going behind.
Oh,
like,
dirty.
This is something we haven't really seen done from plays against Alchemist. Just come in, shut down his jungle, not just in terms of
and take his bounty runes and threaten to kill him and force supports to rotate. Fada's basically doing it all right now, and you could just see how quickly the out drops to the nuke combo.
Notel is covering his bases by stacking Ancients, just using the acid spray from the mid lane to...
But Liquid see this. They have the Riki to contest potentially later on. They have the ward to see the stacks.
And you have Timbersaw, which is one of those great heroes to fight and gank an Alchemist early on when he goes for that. So unlikely, Notel, you can't really farm it until you max out your acid spray most likely, so it does take some time to get ready to go with that. Bottom lane though, Beastmaster is level 6 and could be looking for a pick-off soon.
Yeah, the lane's fairly pushed here. Pretty good positioning from Mind Control and checking out the supports. We do see a TP on Jerex as well as one on Fada on the mid Timbersaw, so if they have to dive for this kill, they could get punished. And now with the amp damage, it can be harder to sneak up on him. Liquid
are really concerned about where Crit is on the map. He's been the big playmaker for OG throughout this tournament. His Earth Spirit has just been insane, and they've got Jerex on their team, but Crit's making a case for the best Earth Spirit player of the tournament.
Again, the kinetic field, but this time Fly's also been caught in it. Matumba Man getting off the clap. Jerex on the chase. They drop the cloud. They're going to lose Fly. Another death here. While in the mid lane, Notel under harassment, but he is going to have reinforcements coming in. Earth Spirit here, but can they really kill Fada? Even with this DD rune.
It's more likely we see a kill onto the Alk if he's not careful. No Tail.
There's the crush, the roll, is a whip from Crit, a rare one at that, and No Tail may pay the piper here. Glimpse back by Jerax, 3 heroes, descending on the kinetic field. Doesn't quite clip him, but it doesn't matter. Liquid get the kill anyway. They even force the fly TP, and this leaves the lifesteal on a bit of an island. OG, very defensive, very reactionary. They are not sitting the tempo right now. It's all Liquid all the way out to a 1,500 gold advantage against an Alchemist who's gotten a couple of bounty runes. 1,000 experience behind with a ledge. Slow start for the Green Dream.
And it's just a very heads-up play from Jerick TP, and they're recognizing that Slather with the Timbersaw were actually going to be short of burst damage to kill off the Alchemist. Without the Disruptor there, they don't get that kill. So very good call from Liquid to make sure they bring in that +1 to guarantee that kill. On the side of OG, as you mentioned, they're playing very slow and reactionary, but they are going to go on Matumba Man up top. The kickback into the tower.
First time, not a success. Second time, much better, but Matumba Man trying to man up against this. He is silenced. He gets on the clap. He turns. He watched the kill Crit. He mauls him with the help of Kuro, so it ends up being a 1-for-1 there. It is a core for a support, but still OG is struggling to find clean kills. Does buy a little space for No Tail though, dragging Liquid towards the top side of the map, and at the very least he's not under siege. And now Kuro, trapped under a ward, could be in danger here. Can he make it out? He drops the cloud. Not going to be able to finish the job. The Riki sneaks away.
Yeah, without having Dust there, they didn't have that chase potential. So I think for OG, the key player to get involved is going to be Moon on Beastmaster. We're yet to see a Roar. He's level 8.
Bottom rune looks like they may want to clash with this as they go. Roar onto Fada. No Tail left on a bit of an island as they glimpse Moon back. They're going to chase No Tail forward, but he has gotten off the Chemical Rage. He seems to be out of the danger zone. Meanwhile, Moon, he becomes the new target. Mind Control pursuing him, but that boar slowing the fish down. They're so frustrated. Anthem and smack him. Might even commit a crush for this. We'll see. Yeah. He beats it down, but the boar has been the savior so far.
I mean, the boar has been so influential in this game, but Moon's first Roar is a very defensive one just to save the Alchemist's life going for a bounty rune.
And an important one because he's closing now on the armor.
Yep. And it's definitely worth the Roar there, but for OG it really kind of tells the state of this game where they're the ones reacting and not finding kills, just purely trying to salvage their lane states. They've got very passive heroes who can't really move off their lanes when you look at supports like Lich. Outside of that, the Earth Spirit just looking a bit underleveled and can't really do as much. Crit. Nice.
Run down by Fada, trying to stack that ward that Kuro dropped. Has been freshly replanted, I do believe, and with that, Liquid are just not going to give the Alk any free farm. It's, you know, something that was talked about yesterday on the panel. PPD brought up, if you're up against a bounty hunter, you can't just farm stacks for free, and the same is basically true for Riki.
Even now, No Tail in the jungle being scattered. Another aggressive ward comes out from Kuro. The Dire Vision sees all the farming going on, and this just opens up the entire map for Liquid. They know where heroes are going to be. They know when and where they can play aggressive. And
there is a ward here. Might get eyes on Mind Control as he sneaks in.
Has got an armlet.
And No Tail, he heads to the north. He gets away from the ugly fish, and then turns back. Gonna work on Fada a little bit with the acid spray, but Fada can get away with these dives. He's got quite a bit of reactive armor.
Yep. The scouting from Moon's Beastmaster, the Hawks, the Boars in the Radiant jungle help protect the Alchemist from that gank and rotation coming in.
Kuro says, nah, not like that, buddy. No stacks for you, sir. Oh, No Tail. Oh, what a rune.
Wow.
A fortuitous haste saves the day, but still, No Tail spending a lot of time here running for dear life as Kuro gonna blink on him. They still go for this. They've already got the Static Storm, and Fada shreds him. Nice haste rune, but not good enough. And while that was happening, there's a Roar on the Slardar. Off in the Radiant jungle. Can they chase him? No, another Roar. 2 in a row for Moon that don't net kills, that don't translate into objectives. OG completely on the back foot through the tail end of the laning stage.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid has just gotten a ton out of Kuro's Riki. He's been involved in 5 of these kills, but most importantly, it's just the scouting information he's given his team. And they've been able to punish the OG Greed because of all this vision.
So what do OG need to do, God? They bring Miracle down bottom. Is a lane swap what's going to change this?
That's not going to change a whole lot. They're looking to secure Miracle just a bit safer farm. Once he gets armlet, I think OG need to go for their first Infest Bomb. Get him inside the Earth Spirit, roll in, and find a kill somewhere on the map. It's the Lifestealer who needs to create space and time for the Alchemist to farm.
Well, you're talking about first kills, first Infest Bombs. Liquid, they do bring Matumba around to mid. Perhaps thinking about a Roshan now. They have amp damage as well. can OG fight into the pit if that's the call?
I think you're even better off just going for kills. Having an Aegis is nice, but entering the Radiant jungle, you've got vision there, you know where the pickoffs are, is almost more dangerous.
And that is exactly what they want. Radiant using the scan here, it is going to catch the tail end of the smoke. So OG, they see Kuro, but they also should have seen some of these Liquid heroes moving in, and they are going to back away. Just the end of the scan, barely clipping Liquid. Looking for that glimpse play, though. Can Jirex be the savior again? He's found one. Pulls in the Lich. Down Fly goes. And now, perhaps the tower. Perhaps just some chip damage. We'll see what Liquid go for, but it's basically nothing big committed there. Really just a glimpse in a smoke.
They're chasing No Tail here. They can get Jarex close enough for another glimpse. It looks like won't quite be able to get in range, but there's a reason Disruptor has, I would say, been the most influential support of the tournament. Outside of maybe a few certain players on heroes like Lion, like you look at Chuan maybe, but for the majority of teams, it's been Disruptor that has just been able to change games, and he pairs so well with the Slider too.
As of yesterday, I believe he had like a 68, almost 70% win rate, and that is a support that's been prioritized. He's being picked early, he's being picked often. It's not like teams are caught off guard.
And normally supports don't have like much, are in a position where they can't influence a game in terms of win rate as much as like a core or a mid can, like your Alchemist. Your Lifestealer having a ridiculously high win rates because he's a carry. He can take control of the whole game. A support typically doesn't do that, but Disruptor has been in a very unique, influential position. And here come OG. Miracle ready to start getting involved. No armlet yet,
but while that's happening, they are taking the Roche on the side of Liquid. Even if they lose one, not the biggest deal. They do try to catch up. Mind control here, but he TP's out right next to the Static Storm. Where's that stun? Crit walks back into the silence. They even throw in a chain toss that gets the Jirex kill, but a support and a smoke, a support kill, you have to spend a smoke, they get the Aegis. Liquid are just fine with that.
That's a 5-man smoke rotation up top. Liquid very happy that they were able to keep their core Slider alive. Mind Control's having a fantastic start to this game.
Still haven't gone for these Ancients, and I'm not sure when OG are going to feel comfortable to do so, because once again, Kuro, he is keeping eyes on these. It seems Liquid have identified that if you're going to play against the Alk, you cannot give him the free bounty runes, you cannot give him the free Ancient stacks, and Liquid are not giving him anything right now.
Vatta's just lingering around. They will defend top with him.
Let's see what they can get done here. Chains his way forward, and looks like they're going to retreat. Meanwhile, Riki sweeping through. There was a sentry ward off of the jungle. Might have gotten eyes on him for a moment there, but Matumba Man is in the meanwhile pulling the creeps away from the bottom tower. Wants to push this thing in. The Mask of Madness complete, so the CTY build, likely the choice for him.
It's very aggressive play from him down bottom, and he does need to be careful because despite having an Aegis, he's very alone. With a tier 1 tower up, it does mean his team can rotate, and they have time to do so because of the Aegis, but if he pushes up too close to this tower, they can look to kill off the Ursa twice.
Still yet to see a clean Beastmaster gank that leads into a kill. It's just been Liquid constantly with the vision, all over the OG jungle. Alchemist starts to pull away here now. He was only about 300, 400 ahead, up to 1,000 gold advantage, but that is fairly minimal at this stage.
Oh, crit. He's found a
roll forward. They are going to engage, and they will find the kill. So your first Infest Bomb with just crit and Miracle does succeed. Make it 4-8.
Just a solid pick up on a Disruptor, but he already got, okay, he got the ward out, but it will be dewarded. Nice sentry placement in the bottom lane. Will take out some aggressive Liquid vision, but they've still got more vision going on in the Radiant jungle, both near the Ancients as well.
They're moving on mid now. They find crit, goes for the boulder smash off the mark. Fada deftly sidesteps it, gets another kill. Still right there with the Alk. And they're going to defend top as well. They're not going to give OG any free tower. Still all tier 1 standing for Liquid. They can project force all over the map with ease. And you're up against a Beastmaster who got safe lane free farm. Generally, you'd expect to at least see his tower down. And well, the first falls, but it's a deny. So the Alchemist Radiant's Dream is going to be a little bit delayed here. Has the Relic, has 200 gold, but in the mid lane, it's another pick off. OG starting to hemorrhage kills, gold, and experience here as Liquid 3-0 in their last 3 big showings. I believe the score 7-2 between these two teams over those matches appears to be in the driver's seat for this fourth. And they jump onto No Tail there. The amp damage coming out. Now the Cloud as well. No Tail, he needs the Radiance. It's going to be delayed for another day. Liquid still hanging around. The Timbersaw healthy, and Fada moving in for additional juicy kills. Meanwhile, Matumba Man fairly low, has the Aegis. It may end up popping here. Oh, it will lose it, but still, they've gotten some additional momentum out of this, getting the out kill. Round 2, let's fight. He's going to blink away, so Fada not wanting to have a piece of that. Matumba Man retreating out, so they get a kill, but it's a kill on the Alk, delaying the Radiance.
It's a decent turnaround from OG, getting the Aegis as well as the Riki, but losing their Alk is the one hero that they don't really want to see getting picked off at this stage of the game. The other 4 heroes want to be creating space and room for Alchemist. With the items they've got, the Armlet on the Lifestealer, the Beastmaster, Necro 2, Moon's having at least a good game in terms of farm and net worth. As far as involvement goes, he hasn't really been all that active yet. That needs to change for OG.
As for Liquid, do you feel like they've gotten enough done right now? They lead by 1,500 gold, 2,000 experience. They haven't taken the tier 1 mid yet. Alchemist still closing in on okay Radiance timing considering the pressure he's been under. Are they content with this? Do they need to like put the foot to the pedal and really amplify the aggression?
I think they want to not get too overly aggressive, because that's where OG now, if you get too aggressive into a Chain Frost, into a Lifestealer who could potentially rage dodge some of your initiation. The Earth Spirit is one of the best heroes to punish dives as well. Liquid wanted to keep finding those kills, going for pickoffs, but you don't go all out just diving right into OG and playing into their hands, because OG is one of the best kind of reactionary defensive teams when they're playing underneath their own towers.
Yeah, so rather than diving for the kills, we do see Fada working on the tier 1.
I mean, Fata is just incredibly scary to deal with right now. 1600 HP, a Bloodstone. You don't want to fight Timbersaw and risk giving him more Bloodstone charges. He's going to have that incredibly fast respawn timer as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him pick up a boot to travel here. Yeah, there we go. Gets the tower, gets a boot to travel, just so when he has that short respawn, he can instantly TP back into the fight.
Yeah, it's 40 seconds less than normal roughly here. 39 to be exact. As Kuro, Boulder Smash off the mark, but they do get the silence, and chasing forward will be able to secure the kill. Mind Control looking to assist. Another death for the Riki. That one does go the way of the Lifestealer from Miracle as he is closing in. Well, let's see what he wants to build here. Grabs the Ogre Club, so not going for the Desolator Rush that we've seen. Like Hal, for example, really favors that, and it is going to be Assange picked up by him.
Is he going... Okay, he will go Sanders. Let's say the other option's the Echo Saber we've seen a few Lifestealer players go for, but...
A little more durable here. It seems like he's a bit worried about getting bursted down in the team fights.
It's still only going to help so much against the Timbersaw, but you've got a lot of quick regen, and he kind of recognizes that with an Alchemist Beastmaster in his team, OG are not going to be lacking damage output until like much later on, and by then you start building towards your follow-up items which can be damaged, be it like a Basher, an AC. So for now, Miracle happy just to tank up, get that bit of extra mobility.
Oh, something different from Mind Control, speaking of items. Gone for the early Vlads on Slardar. Normally we'll see a Force Staff, sometimes even going back to more of a carry Slardar, Armlet perhaps. We've seen Loda experiment with the Vanguard. This is not a go-to item for Slardar players. Why do you think this game?
For Liquid, they have a very strong 5-man. This is a team who prioritizes pushing and taking objectives and sticking together a lot early on, and they're the ones being the aggressors. So this is a nice item to help protect them when they play aggressive. Although, in looking at like versing Lifesteal, you always want to have those Force Staffs. So they're kind of recognizing that the Lifesteal right now is not a threat, and they can buy time before the Force come out. Mid-lane crit, yeah.
The Cloud again. It's Kuro started off, Fada jumping in, crit, can he make it out? No chance, the Crush says no. OG too late, and already Fada looking to dive No-Tail, going very far for this one. The Glimpse back is going to pull him towards the team. They keep finishing on him. Great play around the Jerax Disruptor. And Liquid working their magic again. Not giving OG room to breathe, and hey, the Earth Spear kill is one thing, but getting the Alchemist on top of that, that is a brutal price to pay if you're OG.
And the important thing to know with this Vlad is you don't have the best pushing lineup, and the Vlads kind of can at least help solve that problem to a small extent.
They are quadruple melee, so you know, going later can be nice, and obviously Ursa did not go for the Vlads. We don't really see that build too much anymore.
Absolutely.
And these Ancients, which have not been farmed all game, are now being stolen by Liquid, ransacking their territory and then salting the earth. Just additional punishment for OG. They are going to smoke. This is raise their ire. They've got their hackles back, but Liquid are just fast enough to get away. Miracle slowly marching after them. Crit is there as well. Liquid do make it out.
That TP out from Timbersaw came at just the right time. If that was like maybe half a second later, Earth Spirit Crit gets there with a Boulder Smash. And Liquid, they get out of dodge. They've got Roshan coming up in the next 3 minutes, and while they're waiting, they are going to go for a smoke play of their own. They have vision on OG, importantly.
High ground, though, is OG's. If the fight breaks out, where I think it will, but mind control! He gets the jump with the 2-hero crush, the chainsaws coming out, but Matumba Man just ignores it, shrugs it off, charges forward, and now looks for more. Fly on the back line. That Lich ain't going anywhere. 3 have fallen. Does the rest get out? Yeah, Beastmaster over to mid. Alchemist already escaped, so still a core down, 2 supports. They just, when are they going to be able to take a fight, gods? We're now 21 minutes in. They have the Radiant. The Lifestealer is gone for fairly mid-game items thus far. We have not seen Infest Bombs pay off. We've seen very limited success from the Roars. Nothing really going OG's way.
Yeah, OG are never the ones getting the initiations. I mean, there it's because of the vision that Kuro's ward gives them, and as a result, Mind Control gets the 2-hero crush in the Static Storm, so Lifestealer doesn't even get a rage off. You look at where Lifestealers excelled at this tournament, it's come from being able to get the jump. You infest inside a teammate, be it the Slaughters, the Rickies. A game like this, you're looking at an Earth Spirit, perhaps a Beastmaster later on when he has a blink, and you blink in, immediately turn it into a 5v4 scenario, but not once have we seen OG have a successful Infest Bomb. They've never really been able to find the jump onto Liquid. It's Liquid with the vision advantage time and time again, catching OG by surprise.
Let's say this does go late, and it kind of remains the same dynamic. OG not able to take fights, playing defensively, farming the Alp. Is there a point where they get stronger than Liquid? Because the last time we saw an Ursa versus Alk matchup, even late game, the Ursa was crushing him.
And the big problem is, like, cores like Lifestealer, even to some extent, like the Alchemist, get kited terribly. You've got Kinetic Field on Disruptor. You're very likely to see 4-star pickups as well coming out from the side of Liquid. So I really think OG are going to struggle, even if they manage to drag this game out. They can defend their high ground. We've seen what Alchemists can do in this tournament.
They found another Mr. 9K MMR. Can't dodge this one. They get the crush off. The amp damage there as well. They're going to glimpse it right back into a Static Storm. He barely makes it out. But Matumba on the chase. Oh, he's going to play it safe. Could have tried to dive for that one. Actually, he's looking for it now from the backside. Come Spada, the Germans are coming, and OG is running. They get up the Chain Frost, try to turn the fight. The fight is too tanky. Kuro drops a second Red Cloud, and then they retreat. They might lose Kuro on the way out. The Alk stun's there on the Slardar. The fish drop low, and they will have to back away. Still, another core down, a core first support again, and OG on the defense.
I thought maybe when he played Timbersaw, had one of the best Timbersaws I've ever seen, but Fata has kept up and even been at times out-farming an Alchemist, has 19 Bloodstone charges, Blink, Plate Mail. He is having a incredible performance right now on this Timbersaw, and he has been the tempo controller, which has set Liquid up for
They're already
success.
prepping for top. They've got mind control here. Hotel will make it out, but Liquid are just content to push these lanes, and they're basically taking a free Roche. As we'll see the Aegis going to Matumba Man, a DD now, snagged by mind control. Round 2 of the siege is about to commence.
You've got this Timbersaw who can play incredibly aggressive and not really be at any risk of dying, and even if he dies, he has the insta-respawn. Now you've got 2 lives on Matumba Man as well. The chase for Liquid, like, it's effectively 7v5, and they can punish you and always catch you, pick you off using the glimpse. We've seen time and time again Jarrex find those pickoffs using the vision from either Kuro's scouting or from the Slardar amp damage.
And even the wards that Kuro's been getting down all game long. You can still see one deep ward there off in the Radiant jungle.
Yep, finds a Hawk, and OG have just not been able to get much value at all out of Moon's Beastmaster. He's 2-0-1. He's played a very polished game, but it's just been like too little as far as actual involvement. He hasn't been as aggressive as OG have needed, and part of that comes down to the overall nature of this draft. You have this Lich who is meant to just sit top, win you the lanes, but OG's lane stage did not go as well as they intended it to.
This Kuro bounty hunter, or Riki, very reminiscent of the Kaka bounty hunter yesterday, where he just hooked the game over from minute 1, constantly giving them deep vision. Fly on the case will drop the sentry here. Managed to de-ward, but still.
Oh, they might get a glimpse onto Miracle.
They just want the vision. Matumba Man happy to chase in, knowing there's backup in tow. They've now grabbed the Diffusal Blade, I believe, for the Ursa. It's going to give them additional chasing power, keep heroes trapped under that cloud a bit longer. And the Ghost Scepters are no longer an option. Yet to even see one come out for the supports, though.
I mean, OG aren't even going to look to defend this tier 2 tower. They're just waiting on their high ground. And Liquid say, taking towers, that's too slow. We'd rather go for the kills. They see no tail farmer on the map. Immediately, 1 or 2 heroes will head that direction.
And he has to go here into a Solar Crest, so he's not going straight for the big late game items. He's feeling under the gun, under pressure, so they're trying to salvage the mid game, but in doing so, they gimp their late game a bit.
Yeah, and this helps a lot against the Slider plus Ursa duo, but it's not going to help all too much against Timbersaw, who's only going to get scarier and scarier. Now has a completed Shiver's Guard.
Relatively quiet mid game here. Occasional kills. Liquid slowly building up an advantage. Now up to an 8,000 gold and experience lead, and they find another one. It's No-Tail on the bottom lane. Radiance currently deactivated. Might want to turn that on. And still being pursued out with the Cloud there. Kuro blinking in again. It's going to force a big TP reaction. No-Tail getting completely jumped down here. The Chainforce is beautiful for Flight. They roar Mana. They brain him down. No Bloodstone tonight. He's coming back in 10 seconds though. Matumba Man dances ground. Secondary Cloud. The Elk Stun is there. They're going to lose the Ursa. They've lost 2 cores. Aegis is coming back. The Bloodstone TP respawn play is in effect. Do Liquid re-engage?
You can't, not with Fatah's insta respawn, but doesn't have Boots of Travel just yet. 5 seconds away. Matumba Man wants back in, but all the summons cancelling his blink for now, buying OG some room to retreat.
The Radiant still inactive here for No-Tail. Really does need to turn this on if they're going to look to fight as he chases towards mind control, gets off the stun, slowly working on him, and he is going to get glimpsed back for a moment, finally gets it on, but it seems like already the damage is done. Liquid diving deeper, they've killed off the Lifestealer, they're looking for a fourth, they want Big Daddy, keeping the vision, glimpsed, is he going to let it get him raised for this one? They don't need it, they just beat him down, death by the Bear Claw, and now the tower will be next.
That's a dieback from the Alchemist. Miracle almost survived at the start of that fight. If he manages to get away from the Matumba Man Ursa, that could have been a very different engagement, but Matumba Man with both Diffusal and Skull Basher, it's impossible to get away from this Ursa.
Man, No-Tail just getting slaughtered there. Not having that mischance is going to make a big difference in these fights as you're up against heavy physical damage.
This is where Matumba Man just manned up, had the smokescreen support from Kuro, and Kuro just commits for that kill. Kuro has just been willing to die for his team time and time again. He's died, almost half of their deaths have been him, but
generally
hasn't really hurt them.
Against Riki, generally we see BKBs, because if you don't get the rage off, you're completely shut down by the Cloud, but Alchemist hasn't managed to farm one, generally not like the best late game item for the hero. Normally we see you just try to get more HP and just survive through the fights, but it means the Riki is incredibly impactful.
And we've kind of seen how this hero is actually surprisingly effective against Beastmaster too. I've seen Kuro snipe like 4 Hawks in a row just because you can one-shot it with the Blink Strike, so being able to just get that easy latch onto Hawks denies a lot of the OG vision.
They are sweeping towards the top tier too. Liquid always on offense, forever aggressive, and they're going to blink in. They get eyes on Fly, and back to the well he goes too. It's unrelenting aggression from Liquid, and frankly, I'm just not sure where OG are going to find that momentum. They're about to lose their second to last outer tower. We're 29 minutes in, and Timbersaw has a 2.5k gold lead on an Alchemist with a Radiant, who got some bounty roots, who had some stacks early, never got to farm them. Liquid just seemed utterly prepared for this.
Yeah, there's no real like big Ag Scepter you can pull that's going to make a massive difference as well. For OG, No-Tail is just not in the position you want to see your Alchemist in. It's not just No-Tail, it's also Miracle on the life
for more. They find Miracle again, the Cloud's there, and Liquid strike. Blow after blow, OG are battered at this point. They're scrambling to the enemy side of the map. Moon is fleeing home.
Yeah, he's going for some Rat Dota play here. It looks like he's going to try backdoor this bottom tier 1.
But he's kind of gem. He's got to be careful he doesn't get caught on the way out. But it's this kind of, I wouldn't call it full desperation, but semi-desperation that OG seem forced to resort to. They're going to glimpse. They get No-Tail. They reel him back in. He thought he was out. He's not. But Matumba Man working on him beats him down. The 2-hero stun far too late. And still Moon on a bit of a picnic, but not the good kind.
There's nothing he can really do. Like, this is no fault of his. It's just the nature of this Liquid draft with the map control they have. Anyone going out on the map to farm is getting instantly scattered out and picked off. So Moon's actually found himself on the other side of the map where it's probably the safest place to be in
He
some
really wants to
awkward
take
sense.
a tier 1 here. They're still 2 up, but as soon as he goes for it, you know the TPs are coming.
He's got a blink, he's got the Necrobook, and there's no fortification, so he can definitely get this power. It's a question of can he get out.
He's still so hesitant though. Finally he's going to make his move in. I imagine it'll be a very hasty retreat. So they do see 3 heroes. Already the pings coming out. That one from Jerax on the Disruptor.
Nice little snipe.
He'll snipe the tower.
Bit of money. If you're just trying to force Liquid back at this stage of the game, but
it makes it harder for them to consistently occupy your side of the map because, oh, well, forget about that. They're just going to be at the base, but Tumbaman in pretty far though. And Miracle working on him. The boulder's getting dropped. Miracle still in pursuit. Now the Chain Frost, a deep lob from Fly. He blinks out, drags it away from the team. Well handled by the Finn. And there will be no bounce. There will be no follow-up. Liquid disengaged. And they go back in. Mind control. The man in front. The Static Storm there. Miracle though. He gets bashed. He gets beaten. And he too will fall out for 55 with Bada going high ground. The balls on this one. He fears nothing. In deep. 16 Bloodstone charges even with the earlier death. And now working in on what looks to be an Octarine core. Incredible amounts of farm for a Timber.
And all three of Liquid's cores are just beast moding right now, and you can kind of see the reasoning behind the Vlads even more now with Mind Control building more into a late game oriented build, has gone into a BKB just to scale better as this game drags out. Recognizing that Liquid don't have the best high ground siege, it means this game for Liquid, even when you're ahead by 10, 15, 20k gold, you're not necessarily taking racks. So
where do you see the high ground siege coming from? Like, what are the key items? Is it just an Aegis?
Aegis Cheese, potentially a Heart of Tarrasque on Slardar, maybe an Assault Crest is another consideration, but a Slardar with BKB Heart just has a huge amount of HP, and OG don't have the damage to burst through that. That's why Timbersaw also just reaching this point where he's going to become unkillable with Shivers, Bloodstone, as well as the Octarine core. And for Liquid, you break high ground with pickoff. So rather than focusing buildings with an Aegis Cheese, you're just diving past the buildings and going for kills and using your survivability to kind of give you that buffer where it doesn't really matter you're diving because you're just so unkillable.
The positioning from Kuro is great here. He is the vanguard of this retreat, and it's actually going to break the smoke on Moon.
Yep.
It's a pretty desperate attempt by OG, but Liquid just not giving any quarter here as they were fully ready for it. Even if they find someone, it's a Riki who has basically no net worth and is not a big deal if he dies by any means. Ensuring that they will protect this lead. If OG want to fight, it's probably only going to be on Liquid's terms. And a slow and steady squeeze coming out. They'll TP the Timbersaw to top. And the rest of the Liquid heroes farming Ancients, farming the Radiant Woods, consistently accruing a little bit more advantage as time goes on, and they've continued to force the Alchemist into very mid-game items here. Notel now going for BKB at mid. They find the jump. It's on to, well, Crit actually getting the Disruptor kill. He gets Jirax, but they trade a support, so 1 for 1 there.
That was a really just kind of YOLO play from OG, but that's what they need.
They get Matumba, but he's BKB'd already. I believe he still has his ultimate here. He can man up, and man up he will. Pair up, perhaps the better way to put it. They are tanking this full Chain Frost and charging forward. Liquid engaging onto OG, slaughtering all green heroes before them. Now the crush. No-Tail next. Big Daddy going down. He too will fall. 4 bites the dust. 30 to 10. It's a rout. And Noon will make it a team wipe very likely. One more chain. Bada drills him, snags the gem. Even the courier isn't faster than him. And then chains away. Well, if a team wipe isn't enough to break high ground, gods, I'm not sure what is.
A team wipe, you're getting a kill at the enemy fan. Exactly kind of what I mentioned. You don't really care about going for the buildings, you go for the heroes. And you know that OG have no firepower. They have no items. They have no way to punish this. You steal their gem, you kill them by their fountain, and then you're like, okay, let's walk away and take some buildings now. So it looks like Liquid will secure their first melee racks. These heroes are almost respawning already because of how slow Liquid push, but doesn't really matter when there's no one left to defend. The Lich kind of picked up partially to kind of punish the fact Liquid can't really push down towers, but Liquid have just changed their game plan. They've reacted incredibly well, and OG need to make a magnificent play to turn this around.
It's going to need to be immaculate.
That Static Storm.
Oh, here they go. And Best Bomb gets it underway, but Matumba, PKPs. Not often you see a Lifestealer taking this kind of punishment in this tournament, but today he is the punching bag for Matumba Man. OG on perhaps their last legs. They are going to try to hold here, but they're down 2 heroes. No-Tail, the BKB going to wear off soon. He commits in deep. He gets nothing. And Liquid just walk it off. Full 5-hero survival there. They're going to earn up. They're going to re-engage. Fada already back into the fray, throwing out the Shivas.
That was actually a really next-level Static Storm from Jirax. It was just a bit too next level. He bopped it expecting the Earth Spirit to blink in with the Infest Bomb, and if you have the Static Storm down, Lifestealer doesn't get his Rage off, but looked like Crit was maybe thinking ahead and didn't actually take the bait. But here we go. Aegis Cheese, Liquid, once they have this, they'll be ready to take any fight of their choosing, really.
And No-Tail trying to cobble together whatever farm he can at this stage. I guess they'll have buybacks, but it feels like they need more items.
If you're buying back just to try and defend your base, that's kind of a losing strategy. At this point, the only way to win as OG is to actually get some late game items on your Alchemist as well as Lifestealer, which is going to require just winning a fight handily. But you've got a 9k net worth Lifestealer, 10k net worth on your Beastmaster, and your Alka's behind both Ursa and Timbersaw. Anytime an Alka's not top 1, top 2, I mean really you need to be top 2.
He needs to be like as much as 2 of their cores at this stage usually.
You know you're in trouble. That is just as bad as it can get for an Alchemist.
And Liquid come high ground with lots of extra life. Spada with the virtually instant Bloodstone respawn and the buyback, so potentially 2 on him. They've got Aegis to work with here. Liquid can afford to take some risks. Also a buyback on Kuroki, as well as on Mind Control on the Slardar. So there will be plenty of insurance policies here. And to add to the pressure, OG see that mid lane slowly shoving in, even top lane pushing against them. As soon as somebody shows elsewhere, Timber's going in. He actually finds Crit. And Crit gets nervous. He backs away.
Take out one of the wards. There is a second.
They're going to smoke. Here we go. This could be the big initiation, the last stand for OG. Can they find the pick? No. It's Mind Control. He gets the jump. Come out and play, he says. OG, what do they do, really? Now down a Beastmaster, he'll buy back as well. Static Storm connects on No-Tail, he's gonna have to BKB, they roar Matumba Man, they're gonna look to bring down the Ursa, but a great force step from Jerax, keeps him in fighting shape longer and longer. He is surviving through this, heals up, courtesy of the Cheese, re-engaging, charging forward. No-Tail is still alive through all this, but the Life Stealer's dropped an excellent ultimate. Simply not enough from Crit. He's just too far behind here on the Earth Spirit. And No-Tail now, Big Daddy and the rest of OG just didn't have it. Liquid, they were ready for the Alk. They were ready for the greed. And they crush it.
This is just like one of those games where you look at these Liquid players, everyone performed their role perfectly. Mind Control off lane, not a single death. Matumba Man, dominant, aggressive play on his own.